Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Desynced. Not so secret Saturday. When we last left off, we finished off a lot of the good old-fashioned paintings, and now we actually have no reason to stick around here anymore. So I've packed up most of my stuff. I probably will have to bring back some of this at some point, because we're going to be back at some point. But we're basically done. We are done over there. I added the slight modifications that I did quickly in vanilla. So there's that extra line of mossy along the other side, and there's some just kind of sorted inventory. All that's left is to just run home. Isn't it weird, though? The most weirdest part is how this is just so different. It's so different. I wonder why. Half of me expects an entire plot of houses, but unfortunately, there's no houses. So, we will meet back up shortly at the place. Well, we made it back. And it just occurred to me that I have also taken all the stuff that I was supposed to leave back there. At least in terms of diamonds. But they're here now. It is what it is. So, right now, the current task, I think, is heading back to our little cove. I don't have bricks here, do I? No, but I'll bring the glass. I don't exactly remember what I took from the chest over there. I guess we can take a quick tour of the village. It's been a hot minute since we were here. Probably my better builds right here. Got more pork upstairs. Lots of tree stuff. Usually we need some more gravel here. I think we were intentionally stopping there. Oh, good. That's done. That's done. This is the inn. That could use some work down there, but that's for later. And there is our mega project. Our semi-mega project. Let's see what we got to do. It's hard to remember because that we kind of dropped this 2 months ago randomly. It's hard telling what the intention was. I just remember we were digging out a massive section of it. That's the height marker. What's left in here? Oh, plenty of bricks. Thank God. Plenty of stone. Plenty of TNT. Mwah. Fantastic. Okay. We are in business, if I can just remember what the hell we were doing. We don't have much dirt here. I think this was a marker for something. That's why this is like that. How it is. Just kind of leave that alone. Let's try and get down here. So that's the perimeter we were using. That is supposed to be the old entrance, I think, and they were supposed to kind of meme this into using the pseudo Meltology science, I think. Yeah, this will be a cave entrance instead. A winding cave entrance too, not just a straight shot. Looks like we got some more of that. A lot of mess. A lot of mess to work with. Alright. Lots of holes. This will need flattened at some point. Okay, I know where I want to start. Or at least restart. So long-term wise, fortunately all this needs to come out for me to actually do anything. Long-term wise, we're going to want to think of the interior structure. So this, I don't remember what kind of government office building that is supposed to be. I just know it's supposed to look like a small government building. To do like simple things. I don't remember what I planned it for. I'll have to go back and watch, I guess. Then also, yeah, there's not gonna be a way down here, so I don't need to worry about a staircase in the center. Or I could put a staircase, but it's boarded up. I think I might do a boarded up staircase, so we will build a spiral up into this. I'll have to, I'm gonna go up there and make a marker. Just pop a hole in the center of this thing. Doot. Oh, did we run out of wood? Damn, I am floundering up here. Alright. It's a chicken. I really did just kind of leave this thing in a mangled state. Damn. Oh well. Oh, is this even odd? Oh no. Is that intentional? Did I make this even odd? It had to be intentional. It had to be intentional, because I don't think I would design it like that without a reason. Okay, well, noted. So this is our strange center then. It's a slightly strange center, but I can work with an oval spiral. It's a little strange, but not too dissimilar to a spiral. It just means I go up 2. Plus, I think I built one in Coast Castle anyway. For the staircase. I think. Okay, now this side's done. Let's see. We got this side. We're gonna have to torch this and it's once we actually start doing stuff, because I don't want this blown to bits while trying to work on it. Be a shame to smelt all this stone and have it blown to bits. Oh, and so that's a small government building up top. What was the original purpose of this thing? I suppose. What could the original purpose be, because it doesn't, the below doesn't have to be a government building. It doesn't have to be. It could just kind of be whatever we want it to be. A museum doesn't make sense to me for this. This doesn't make sense to be a museum. Oh yeah, I guess an easy way to kind of figure that out is this is supposed to be, so according to the Tartaria mud flood kind of theories, a lot of things were just covered in an ungodly amount of mud and dug out. They never specify where the mud comes from. That's kind of one of the issues of the whole theory. But the other part that is never touched on is, I guess, where they put that mud, and two, there's also the Meltology angle where things just melted, which is why we're using stone underneath instead of the bricks. So in doing so, taking Meltology into account, this entire thing, this entire mountainplex could in theory technically be melted buildings, and this is all just kind of melted together. It's a very funny theory. I'm curious about it because you can see bricks just kind of melt and merge into things that really shouldn't melt and merge. Shit, you can actually see like the bricks kind of melt into a electrical looking pattern. I'll have to not do some I'll have to like kind of assemble like a PowerPoint or something to kind of show that off, because it's really cool. There's nothing I really want to say about it. It's like much about it other than, well, there's something there, but what is there? And the what is what is the more interesting thing to me is what happened. It's less about what are they trying to hide. The big evil cabal of peoples and, come on, you know it's them. And I'm less interested in why they're trying to hide it and more what the hell happened to just melt bricks on a global scale. Like, that's all that's my curiosity. It's not even just, it's not even the whole the Shadow Cabal is keeping secrets from us. No, it's more that I'm very, very intrigued by what the hell happened. So, I was originally, I think, get these clouds out of here. I was originally going to have a basement as indexed by these little windows. But since now since we changed over to Meltology kind of building where this thing is really just going deep underground, and we can get creative with that. How far it goes, or how tall this is, or what. I guess these aren't really needed anymore. They can just be regular foundations. I'm not losing a brick. Every time I go out, I at least get slaughtered once trying to collect these expensive little items. Oh yeah. So anything that's visible will be brick. Okay. So this is all technically visible. Now, this underside right here is also technically visible from the inside, so what we can do is we can kind of make this bleed. And by bleed, I mean this will be a random mishmash of brick and stone. Primarily brick at the first layer, and then it'll transfer over to stone more as we go down and down. So that's what we're gonna do right now. So we've already got one ring. And we're just gonna kind of place bricks, and wherever it gets filled it's filled. Okay, so now these gaps will be stone infested. I'm going to kind of patch in some of these to kind of give an illusion. So it's not perfectly random, I just need enough. Okay, so next is where there's brick, we can put more brick. Where there's stone, we can't put brick. So we can get a little loopy with this. Okay. That's a stone. Okay, so now we can do this. This can go down pretty far if we really wanted it to. Sadly, I don't have any other really grayish blocks to truly, like, there's more of a transition phase between these where it turns into like a stone brick. But because of what we're playing, we do not have access to stone bricks at the current moment, and I don't think we will. So unfortunately, we're just kind of left with this transitional mishmash, I guess. Because this is kind of how it works. Is that the energy flows, and it's usually, from what I could tell, there was no real pattern to how it occurs. So what's really occurring is a process called sintering. So when brick gets hot enough, when you're killing it, you can accidentally, if you're not careful, melt the thing. And it'll just do weird things, and sometimes one of those things is quartz will kind of appear inside the brick, or it'll bulge out, or it'll just generally do strange things with no real rhyme or reason to what it's doing, as far as I can tell. So that's like that's the whole goal right there. It's kind of like a center. So like the energy is flowing upwards and down into this. Like in theory, if we really wanted to get fancy, we could shove bricks in here randomly. Of what like to continue like the incomplete process. And we might end up doing that. It's just I need a shell before I can even think about doing something like that. But at least we got to kind of, and it kind of looks cool in here. It just kind of looks like the brick is melting down. And it just means the energy is flowing up. But the only requirement I will probably have with that is I will try, and let's try to kind of make sure that any brick that we do form is kind of touching another brick from the top. So it's kind of like a spot that missed. Or it might be random holes. I'm not entirely sure. Because this is a very weird setup. Kind of trying out. It's not my normal build palette either. Now that we got the roof, we got this. Another step would be the mountain at some point. First I'm going to patch this hole. I would like to walk, at least on my actual structure. Okay. My safety, structures, thingy. Whatever. Another thing we could do is make it look a little off. We could kind of lower our kind of dirt into this. Like we're gonna have to build a dirt shell around this whole thing anyway, at some point. It's not if, it's just when. And this dirt stone mix is gonna have to be like, it's gonna be, well, I could do something with that now that I think about it. It doesn't make much sense. But what I can do, because another part of Meltology is the fact that also like the caves are actually just kind of part of like the structure. They were original parts. So we reach this idea. We reach this idea that we can kind of bulge out the building because inherently this thing melted. It was not a perfect melt, so technically I can lopside this, or at least lopside the interior. And in lopsiding the interior, we could make some really strange crevices inside and give it some like inherent detail that otherwise would not occur if this were like a straight build. maybe that doesn't make sense. But I'm basically just taking like melted blobs and just inflating in a section like a balloon. It makes sense in my head. And really, it making sense where it matters the most is all that matters to me. Because this is all coming back to what the hell we were originally doing. The roof is going to be a challenge because I only got like 6 blocks to work with. Which I think put a really big damper on my original plan. I don't think that... I can't think of any other reason why I would make this stick. Okay, this dirt pile is now kind of flush, I guess. Alright, we're out of dirt. Okay. Light this up. Don't need creepy crawlies ruining my night with this. But, in any case, I hope you all enjoyed watching, and we will see you all in the next episode of Minecraft Desynced. Now it's the Secret Saturday edition.